That's right, you read the title correctly. Watch this video so I can buy myself a Tesla, okay? I'm gonna see if it's even possible to even buy a Tesla from a YouTube video. Just this one YouTube video right here, okay? And in exchange for that right now, I'm gonna give you something that you cannot find on YouTube whatsoever. You can find a version of this. Mine is a proven method because I've done it, okay? This is what it's going to be. I'm going to let you know how to do it. How to quit smoking. Now, I'm talking about smoking, the leaves, both. Any types of smoking, period. This is how you can actually do it. And this is something that I'm going to share with you that I've only shared with maybe 5 people in my entire life. I'm going to do this for you, okay? Let me give you a little bit of background on why I'm even qualified to even talk about this. So me, when I get on something, I get addicted, super addicted, bad addicted. So when I was smoking, I used to dig out of ashtrays. I started smoking when I was 18 years old, right? And I smoked all the way until I was almost 26 years old. And I would just literally like smoke all the time. I used to take people's smokes from their pack. I used to take things from them like all the time. Like they'd leave like a little halfer outside. I would smoke it. Like it would just immediately, the fiend mode was absolutely crazy. I used to be up at like midnight and walk straight over to Fry's Electronics when that was still open, just because they have this big ashtray and it was always filled with the most biggest halfers ever. And I'll be in there just smoking them all up. I would just go over there, take it home, and just smoke them back to back to back to back to back. I remember the most crazy thing that I remember right now in my head when I even think about halfers was the time that my mom, because my mom is a truck driver, so when she came back from being a truck driver, she was on like a small break, and I still remember this day. I was waiting behind them so they can go in so I can take like 4 or 5 halfers out of the ashtray. And so I'm coming in to, my mom doesn't smoke whatsoever. So she obviously smells it. She's like, "Would you dig out of the ashtray?" I was like, no. Like I was so insecure about it, right? I smoked for almost 10 years. Okay. Now, if you've been smoking for more than 30, what I'm going to say is going to be a lot harder for you because you've had it embedded into your system for a very long time, and it's very hard for you to get past this. You can still use this concept, okay? But this is a concept that I've been proven to do. At the time that I stopped smoking, let me give you a perspective on where it started and where it happened at. I was with my ex-girlfriend during this time, and she literally every time when she lit a smoke, she would go like this, and she would have 2, one for her, one for me, and boom, I was there with her for 6 months, back to back. I never bought smokes in my entire time of knowing her. She always bought it. One day, this is exactly how you do it, because this is what I truly believe, that everybody who smokes goes through this. One day I woke up, and I didn't actually have the feeling of I want to smoke. Like what I mean is, like, usually what I would do is I would wake up, and out of habit I would see the pack right there and boom, smoke, or remember that I had a halfer outside and go smoke, or whatever. It would just come to my mind like that about smoking. The most I've ever smoked in my entire life in one night is 2.5 packs. Well, with my ex at that time, but 2.5 packs. We barely had enough smokes in the morning for it. So this is how it happened. I woke up one day, literally I just random day, like a random Tuesday. Before this happened, I was sitting there. I lived in a house that had like 5 roommates in this house. And the bedroom I was even staying in was a bedroom that had been literally like separated with a wall, and there was another just to make more room. So it's like a 4-bedroom house. They made it into 8 because they split all the rooms like that. So I'm living with 5 different personalities, and I'm sitting there at 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m., and I'm wasted. I've already been drinking, I've already been smoking, and I've already been smoking smokes. So I'm like way spaced out, and I'm staring at the table as they're just talking back and forth, my ex-girlfriend and the guy that lived there. So I'm sitting there staring at this table, and in my mind it said, Is this truly how you want your life to be? I was like, no, this is not. And since that exact moment, there was like probably like 3 or 4 days went by, right? I woke up and didn't feel like I wanted to smoke. I truly believe this happens to everybody who smokes. It's just you decide to do it anyways because it's part of your habits. You don't actually feel like the feeling. And out of curiosity, I was like, let me see how long until I'm able to feel physically that I want to smoke. Usually it was after a big meal, or if I like have me and my girlfriend were me and my ex-girlfriend were arguing, or I did a lot of little small jobs, or I was just bored. These are all times I would just smoke immediately, right? So this day, next thing you know, it was noon, 5 o'clock, 9 p.m. And I just went to sleep. I'm telling you, I'm with this girl. Like we basically lived together. And I was with her for 6 months, right? And within this time is when this happened. So the next day came, the next day came, the next day came. 7 days had blown by. I'm talking about like that. And all I was doing is not smoking from the pack that you buy from the store. Not smoking like the broccoli. I definitely did that still. And drinking, I still kind of did that for the most part. But smoking from the pack, I didn't for a whole week. At the end of the week, she goes like this. Mine and hers. And I was like, do you not notice that I haven't smoked in a week? Like literally, it's been a week. She looked at herself. She was like, no, I didn't notice. That's how I knew it. Me and her were definitely not going to work out because she wasn't paying attention to what I was doing at all. Like she didn't care about what I was doing. It, up, down, left, right, didn't matter. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. And out of celebration, I smoked a halfer. She left out. I was like, you know what? Just to be like this. And after a week, the taste tasted so much more different that I was like no longer interested in smoking anymore. And just in case I needed a reminder, the next morning at 5 a.m. when I woke up to go to the bathroom, I'll use the bathroom and I'm coming out. Normally, you like, here's your foot, right? Here's the main big toe and here's the pinky toe, right? It's always the pinky toe that catches on to something. This time it was the one right next to the pinky toe and it whipped so hard. Oh my God, I was on the ground. I could still like mentally feel that. Oh God, I was like, oh my gosh, bro, it was so painful. I looked down, I thought my toe was going to be like this, but it wasn't, thank God. It was definitely not okay, but it wasn't a big deal. My toe is still fat from that. It never went back down. It literally is still fat from that day. And that was years ago. Crazy. Okay, so I was like, bro, that's a reminder. That's a physical reminder, like, hey, you don't need to be doing this. You need to be done. So I wrote that off as I don't need to be smoking no more. Okay, I'm done. And ever since that day, I didn't smoke not one more smoke past that point. And it's been years. Now, have I smoked like Black and Milds? Yeah, I've smoked Black and Milds. I've actually had a small problem with that for like 5 months. Prime times, I smoked that for probably like 3 or 4 months after the Black and Mild times. And like what made me stop doing the prime times, because for one, I don't think you can find them anywhere anymore. But when I looked at the prime times, I was looking at them, and on there it said mini cigar smokes. I have to use the word because I don't want to, I don't know if you're supposed to be talking about 18 and up stuff anyway. So I just wanted to be able to be safe. So that's why I keep saying smokes. But you know what I'm talking about. So I was like, wow, this is this. I basically picked up the habit all over again. So I threw it away, never even looked back at it. And I've been smoke-free, literally smoke-free for the past 2 years for the broccoli. And then smoke-free for the stuff that comes in a pack you buy from the store. That since prime times, which was years ago. I was actually 27, 28 when I did the prime times. So what made me actually stay away from it was putting in the mindset of if I smoke right now, I walk outside and I find a pack of smokes, and I was like, you know what? It's been forever. I'm just gonna smoke this one, right? I feel like I've have all these days of good credit, and it's about to hit back down to zero because I took that one hit. Now I'm back down to zero, guys. And I'm here at zero, starting at day one again, picking up a habit that I've already put down. So that's motivational enough for me to not go back. And also, with the broccoli, like everyone can tell you, oh, it's not addictive, it's not addictive. Trust me, I am a fiend. It is addictive. It's not a physical addiction like a lot of this other stuff is, but it is a mental addiction of like it's like it reminds me of like you want to eat ice cream all the time, you know, that like it's like that. It's like broccoli is like ice cream. It's like, you know, like you have one thing of ice cream, it tastes good. You're like, wow, it tastes really good. But if you go back for the second, it tastes good still, but it's just like, dude, your stomach's kind of upset and all this other stuff, yada, yada, yada. You already know it just doesn't feel good to eat too much ice cream. And it's the same thing with that. It's like, I did too much of it. I've literally abused broccoli since I was 17. So it's been forever of just abusing broccoli. And one time, out of nowhere, shortly before I actually quit smokes, I literally had a full-blown panic attack, which was something I'd never had in my life. So what happened was I would smoke the regular broccoli, and then I would smoke the high-grade broccoli, and went back to smoking the low-grade broccoli. And so it kind of went back and forth throughout the day. And then, I don't know, I was just so like out of my gourd, just driving, and then everything felt really cartoonish. I'm not sure if anyone ever has had this experience, but I felt like it was like super cartoony. Like, this is real life. It was like you start looking around, and all of a sudden, just it was like good and got real weird and real spacey. And I was like, oh, bro, I need to pull over. I pulled over. My heart is beating through my chest. And I'm breathing like, oh my gosh, like I don't know what's going on. And this is when I was still with her. It's an ex-girlfriend. So she was watching this whole thing go down, and she said I look pale. I was like, bro, I had to breathe it out for like maybe 5-10 minutes. I was still a little shaky, but I could get things back together. And when I got back to the house, I learned about the shower technique, where you can get in a shower and calm yourself completely down. My God, bro. It was insane. Insanity, bro. And ever since that moment, I would have these weird attacks later on throughout the life, all the way until my last experience was. This one wasn't a panic attack. It wasn't nothing like that. This last one was, I felt like I couldn't swallow. It was weird. I was really up there, you know what I'm saying? Up in the clouds. And I was eating, and when I would swallow, and I would feel like I wasn't swallowing all the way. I was like, and I felt like if I kept eating, then I was gonna choke here one of these times. So I was like, you know what? I'm good. And so I just sat down. I didn't even finish. I don't know what it was, burger or whatever I was eating. I just didn't even finish. I just set it to the side. And I thought about it. I was like, bro, no one's ever died from broccoli, right? I'm pretty sure not. Like, I'm pretty sure that's the statistics, right? I didn't want to be the first one. And I'm not saying that would have happened, but I'm just saying something was going on, and that was giving me clear signs that this ain't it. Oh, and then drinking, I had to quit that too. So I'm completely sober now. But the reason why I had to quit that was because every time I drink, I would have this like lower back pain. And then I did like a pee test or whatever, and then they tested the pee to see what's all going on. I had proteins in my pee, which is not good. And then I had certain levels that were kind of off. I don't remember all the levels now, but I had some levels that were off. And he was like, yo, like, if I were you, I would just quit drinking. And then, you know, these would probably clear up, which I did. I actually quit drinking before I even went in the office, but quit drinking, and I was all good. So I'm actually completely sober now. So that's actually how I got sober, was just real steps. I believe in God. So I believe that God put me in these positions to get me away from these things, to feel how I feel exactly at this moment. Now, but the smokes applies to anybody. Maybe the other two are like completely different, whatever. But smokes, that's how you quit smokes, bro. The ones that come in the pack, That's how you quit smokes. You can get away. I know I don't care who you are. There's a days that you just do it out of habit versus feeling like you physically need it. If you just ride that feeling out, it'll never come back. That's it. Just gotta ride it. It'll never come back. And in the midst of this, I was with that girl, and 2 months after I'd quit the smokes, I had a real bad argument with her at the bar too, bro. We were at the bar in the smoker section. Everyone's smoking. I'm sitting there chilling, and bro, a real crazy argument. So I was like, you know what? I'm walking home. So I was walking home, just blowing up my phone, just walking. And my first thought was to just go to the liquor store and just buy a pack and just smoke. And I was like, you know what? No. I can't run back to it now, because just because it's a stressful situation doesn't mean that I need to go back, because there's going to be other stressful situations. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always going to be some sort of stress. So why deal with it that way? Find a new thing. And it just kind of like exited my mind as soon as it came in. And that's how I got away from it as well, with relating it to the fact of, I don't want to start at day 0, relating it to the fact that there's going to be more stressful days out there, so don't run back to it because it's stressful. And if you're bored, do things, you know? And if you already abuse broccoli, abuse more broccoli versus doing the smokes, okay? So that's what I'm talking about, baby. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it all the way through, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm not a classic YouTuber. I'm going to tell you all these extra stuff. But if you do leave any comments down below, I do respond through a video. I do not respond to comments directly. I respond through a video, so you know it's me, not some crazy scammer from Telegram or WhatsApp, okay? I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. Peace!